Afghanistan Foreign Minister Amir Muttaqi, who is in India, visited Uttar Pradesh's Deoband today. He met with Jamiat Ulema-e-Hind President Maulana Arshad Madani and also expressed gratitude for the warm welcome. Now, Muttaqi was also conferred a Hadith Sanad, a certificate of authority by Darul Uloom Deoband, granting him the right to teach Hadith and used the title Qasmi. He can now formally write his name as Maulana Amir Muttaqi Qasmi. Let's listen in.
बहुत अच्छा सफ़र है और उलमाए देवबंद, तलबाए देवबंद बल्कि सारे इलाके के लोग आया है। मैं इसके मशकूर हूँ। उन्होंने बहुत अच्छा इस्तकबाल किया और उन्होंने ज़्यादा मेहमान नवाजी किया। ज़ाहिर है कि उलमा और तलबा के दरमियान वाबस्तगी बहुत तारीख़ी है, इसलिए मैं आप हज़रात और देवबंद का काबिरीन और इलाके के जो उलमा है, तलबा है और आवाम है, सबका मशकूर हूँ।
And viewers, and now this visit carries a deep symbolism. Deoband is actually the birthplace of Deobandi movement, the Islamic school of thought that shaped the Taliban's ideology. So for decades, Pakistan projected itself as the ideological guardian of this movement, using its links with Deobandi madrasas and scholars to justify its influence over the group. But now this visit, hence, is not just a religious stopover. It is a form of faith diplomacy, a calculated political gesture, in fact. So for the Taliban, it is about reclaiming its ideological roots from India and not Pakistan. For India, it opens quite a new channel of engagement, one that relies on cultural heritage rather than formal recognition of the Taliban regime. So Deoband becomes the bridge then, a neutral ground that could allow quiet communication between India and Afghanistan. So for New Delhi, this is, it fits its careful balancing act since the Taliban takeover in 2021. India has now reopened its embassy in Kabul, sent medical food and aid, and also has stopped short of recognizing the Taliban regime. So Deoband then gives it a neutral bridge, a way to talk without endorsing. In fact, Muttaqi's visit to Deoband is more than a symbolic pilgrimage. It is about the Taliban's shifting outreach, India's quiet but firm engagement, and also a reminder that in the battle for influence over Afghanistan, where Pakistan may no longer hold a monopoly. And now joining me on the broadcast is Ambassador Deepak Vora, former Indian diplomat. We also have with us Dr. Zakir Hussain, foreign affairs expert. Thank you to both of you for joining here on News 9. Dr. Vora, Ambassador Vora, in fact, starting with you. You know, we've been talking about the reset that's coming in between India and Afghanistan, but this aspect of, of soft power and cultural dimension of diplomacy do reflect on this, specifically with the visit to Deoband today that we saw.
Well, thank you very much, ma'am. Always a pleasure to be with you, whether it's in the morning or in the evening. And of course, Zakir Hussain is there. I respect him greatly. His knowledge is unparalleled. I'm in Dehradun at the moment for the Dehradun Arts and Culture Festival. Okay. And we're having a discussion precisely on the subject that you mentioned, the significance of the visit of Foreign Minister to Darul Uloom. I've been there, by the way. They allowed me, even though I'm not a Muslim, I was allowed to go. It's a very liberal kind of place, is the impression that I got. They don't like veneration of saints, etc. But there's a hardcore Sufi element in it. And of course, maybe a quarter or a third of Pakistanis claim that they are influenced by the Deobandi movement, whereas in Afghanistan, I think all of them, particularly the Pashtuns, claim influence, claim not ownership, but that they are followers of the Deobandi school, as opposed to the Barelvi, which sort of venerates saints and so on. So his going there, as you have so brilliantly put it, says to our buddies across the border, listen, all you chaps, now they want direct contact. Afghanistan is establishing direct contact with their religious thought process. They don't need an intermediary like you. That's the most significant part. Then, ma'am, the second thing, when this evening, a little while ago, we were having dinner with some of the scholars here. And I tried to ask them, I said, are you able to explain to me, and I'm a student, what went wrong between Pakistan and Afghanistan? There was a time in the 50s when they're even talking of an Islamic Union. The Americans favored it. And then, of course, Pakistan talked of strategic depth, and they've always felt that they could control Afghanistan. So what went wrong? How did suddenly, as they say, hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, or heaven hath no rage like love to hatred turn? How did this, what you thought was love, suddenly become hatred? They don't give me an answer. They couldn't give a straight answer. What went wrong? I believe that the foreign minister's visit to India is not just a reset, it's a reaffirmation of their faith that India has never done anything to hurt Afghanistan. Even in 1999, when our plane was hijacked, there were people in India who said, look at these terrible Taliban chaps. They are facilitating the hijacking. They are colluding with the Pakistani intelligence and the terrorists there. But we didn't respond in a knee-jerk fashion. We had a very mature response to it. And so I think today, the world sees and the Afghan people see, and we realize that we shouldn't have been fighting, we shouldn't have any disagreement at all. The final thing, which I have many Afghan friends. My family is originally, my father's family is originally from Ghazni in Afghanistan. So I claim Pashtun blood also. And sometimes I say Afghanistan is my fatherland and Bharat is my motherland. My mother belonged to a Sikh family. So that's very, very significant. She's my mother, Bharat. One of the people actually said to me that, you know something, for us, our neighbor always, we've considered, emotionally, intellectually, we've considered India as our neighbor. And this little rat that got in between us, he didn't name Pakistan, but he was referring to it. We don't recognize them at all. So I was very pleased to hear this view that now we are back where we should have been long ago. The interregnum was unfortunate, but we have re-established a wonderful relationship.
Certainly, Ambassador, it is a step forward. Dr. Hussain, engaging directly with Taliban allows New Delhi to secure its long-term interest in the region. We have a lot of economic interest. It can prevent terror threats that could emerge from the region. And at the same time, we can counterbalance China and Pakistan's influence in the region. So do you see this visit as a win-win then?
Yes, thank you. Thank you. I should first thank to Ambassador for appreciating my knowledge and yes, of course, it is a win-win situation, and I would not like to put India in the throes of Chinese imbroglio. But certainly, I want that India has made it clear that let what come, but I am going to improve my relation openly and declare it to the world that Afghanistan is very dear to us, not politically, strategically, economically, but religion-wise too. The link to Deoband is very important, and we have tried to establish, and we have revived it, not re-establishing, revived it. It was continuing since before our independence. They played a key role in promoting the independence of India from British, and they have done a lot of things. And their leaders and the founder of Taliban, the son of the person who established Deoband, Haqqaniya there, which was an offshoot of Deoband. So I feel that let what others think, India has gone to the right path, and I appreciate the vision of Prime Minister Modi and the Foreign Ministry that they have lately taken this step boldly, and it is going to create a win-win situation for both the nation. And also I feel that there is a reciprocity towards both the countries. Afghanistan needs more recognition. Afghanistan needs to engage with three major powers of South Asia and extended region like Russia, which has already recognized, China and India. So it is going to bulwark itself against the minor minions like Pakistan and others. So it is a very good thing. And also I feel that this visit would have alarmed President Trump, who was telling lately just
Yes.
to take back Bagram.
The Bagram Airways.
Yeah, that puts the things into this context, and I feel that America will try to sabotage this government in Kabul, but India's assistance in economic terms, in recognition, in upgrading the relation will play a key role in stabilizing Afghanistan.
Clearly. Now, Ambassador Deepak Vohra, I'd like to ask you, because you've had a ringside view of diplomacy for so many decades now, how do you see this as an appreciation of India's foreign policy, you know, with the kind of reaction we've had from Taliban, as Dr. Hussain also mentioned, that they need us, and the way they're approaching us, and the kind of, you know, step forward we've seen from both the sides now?
Oh, absolutely, ma'am. There's no question about it. There's even talk of Afghanistan, the foreign minister inviting Indian companies to explore minerals. We are looking for rare earths, particularly these critical minerals, as we call them. And certainly, there's talk that Afghanistan has 1 trillion, 2 trillion, 5 trillion, depends on who you're talking to. Nobody has any idea of what it is and how much it will cost to take it out. But yes, it's certainly a very welcome development. One of the things, ma'am, my grandfather spoke Pashto. Dr. Zakarin, he told me something about Afghanistan, about the Afghans, about my ancestors from there. He said, may God protect you from the venom of the cobra, the teeth of the tiger, and the revenge of the Pathan. Now, I don't know how true that is, but he used to say that don't mess with the Pathan, which is exactly what I heard the foreign minister say. He said, you tell NATO, the British should know, the Americans should know, the Soviets should know, NATO should know, you don't mess around with us because we'll hit you back, and we carry that forward for generations. So it is great. I mean, we've overcome the hesitations of the past. There were people in India who said, no, you can't trust these guys, etc. But I think the Prime Minister and the Foreign Minister taken a very forward-looking view. Now, you rightly pointed out that they are trying to also make friends with the 3 superpowers of the world. And I'll count the United States, of course, has got its own idea. And Bagram, by the way, is not to keep an eye on China, as Trump says, I think, as much as to clobber Iran when the time comes. They're also looking to make friends with China. They want to improve relations with Russia, which has recognized the regime, and India. There isn't a 4th superpower. So I think they have played a very smart game. They have looked at the relationship very carefully. They've acquired enormous amount of expertise. They know which side their bread is buttered. And I think if you look at India as the piece of bread for Afghanistan, it's buttered on both sides. They've understood that very clearly. There's no point in offending India. As we say, talab mein rehna hai, to phir magarmach se vair kaisa karna hai? You have to be friends with India. Because India can bring you money, India can bring you tech. Ma'am, I was in Goa 2 days ago. I was on Miramar Beach, and I hear some kids speaking Pashto. I have a few words from my grandfather. And I went up and said, where are you from? They said, from Afghanistan. I said, what are you doing in Goa? We are students over here. And this is totally amazing to find these kids over there. Hundreds of thousands of them have studied. We've trained their military, etc. So it is really such a wonderful feeling that the hesitations of the past have been swept. We have to look to the future. We're a mature democracy. We're a big power. These little things will happen. These pinpricks like 1999 Kanda will happen. But then we have to put that behind us. We have to look forward. And we are looking forward.
All right, so we have to put the past behind. Dr. Hussain, you were talking about the fact that they need us and we need them. So in terms of our economic interest in Afghanistan and also region at large, how crucial is Afghanistan for us? In terms of connectivity projects, in terms of infrastructure, critical minerals, our ambassador was just mentioning.
Afghanistan is known as the lithium of Saudi Arabia. As we know, so much speculation is there. And it's a huge deposit of brass, minerals, and many other things. And for that, we developed Chabahar, and from Chabahar to Dilaram road we built 250 kilometers to connect with Hajigat, from where we want to bring the iron and other minerals. But right now, what America has done, it has sanctioned Chabahar also, while Afghanistan is a landlocked country. We have to work on this, how we can go. So we have developed the air corridor, and if it is going to success in that direction, then we will be bypassing both Chabahar as well as Pakistan. Though in his interview, Muttaqi said that we need Wagah border, but we have to channelize another connectivity route to directly establish link with Afghanistan. And we all know that Pakistan will never let our relations to go smoothly, and it is very clear to both the sides. And on that basis, this visit. And we also know that what Pakistan did as Muttaqi landed in India. He attacked on Kabul and 5 provinces of Afghanistan, and they are telling that they have killed the leader of TTP, Masood. So these things are creating problem and reverberation in Islamabad, and their own analysts are telling, I was watching them, then they are telling that America is going to stabilize their government within next 3 months. And so these are various issues which we have to consider and support Afghanistan economically and through food grains. And also already we have opened our market for their products like fruits and other things. If you go in our market, we will find the good big pomegranates and dry fruits, and all these things are the farmers are benefiting from our interactions. So we have to speed up, and India has to play as a role, as a partner, and without putting our relation in any thrust with China or Russia or anyone else. We
All
should
right.
define it that both the interests of both the countries is coalescing. And of course, we are very much clear, and Afghan minister has also said word by word very clearly, very confident. Many people are surprised by the way they are handling these tough issues in a very simple and plain languages. So this shows their confidence, and this shows their long-term sustainability towards India, and now depends on us how we are going to proceed with them.
All right, with that, it's a wrap on this discussion. Thank you, Ambassador Vora and Dr. Hussain, for
Thank you.
joining us.